Hi everybody. So I wanted to take a minute. One of the biggest questions I get when we're building simulations and stuff is, what do I look for when I'm doing a building walkthrough or walk around, and when I'm actually gonna start, building a sim, what do I do? So I thought today I would go ahead and bring you out with me as I do a little walk around of this building. It's a pretty interesting building that I'm going to do a simulation on, and so I'll walk you through the whole process from my initial walk around, kind of what I'm thinking about, what the things are that are important to make sure you get video and photos of, and we'll kind of just go from there. So let's go ahead and swing around here. So here's the building here. It's located on this fairly busy street here, and you can see there's some access issues. This is actually a small engine repair and lawn equipment sales business, and so we'll go ahead and walk across and kind of get started. Now normally what I do is I go ahead and come to the building, and I obviously get permission from the owners, and then I go ahead and walk around, and I just kind of do a walk around almost like what we would do for the fire department. I look at what the building is like, what it's constructed of. You can see here this is an older brick building. You'll see when we look inside, it's actually been covered up mostly with drywall and sort of remodeled a few different times, and there's a lot going on. That's one thing too. There's still people here at the business, so I just kind of try to stay out of the way and walk around and talk about everything. And we'll get back into the back part. They do repair and all that, so we have all those issues related to maintenance and repair back there in the shed and the garage. Another thing that I look at with these buildings too is, what kind of scenario do I want to build? Are we building an incident command type scenario where I'm testing a commander on the things that they're doing, or maybe I'm building a company officer type scenario where the company officer is going to be tested on initial strategy and tactics, on their initial size up, those types of things. And really the honest truth to it is I try to look at all of those things, because I may be building future scenarios beyond what I might be working on right now. So I try to get everything that I can as far as photos, and then with this video I do usually like a little walk around, and I'll go ahead and just kind of talk about the building, and this will kind of be my library or my video that I can refer back to about things that I find interesting about the building. So as we walk around here, you can see there we have, it looks like an old door that over the years was blocked off. We'll have to keep that in mind and look maybe when we go inside what that looks like. Here it looks like we have a service entrance, or sort of an office entrance. And as we continue around here on the side, we got some pallets. It looks like they give pallets away here, so you may have a significant amount. I don't think he lets them stack up too high, but they could be right there along the building. Okay, as we kind of walk on through, we got the HVAC, the air conditioning there going up, and it goes in the roof up there. And then here we got the dumpster. And we'll come back in and look inside here in their shed area, storage area. We'll kind of walk through there. We have another entrance door there as well, service door. As you can see here, we got another service entrance, another door, and then the roll-up doors. And then depending on the time of year here, you'll see they have some different equipment that they have just out in the lot, depending on the season and depending on the time of year. And we'll just take a quick look in here. So initially you can see this area is kind of just a normal storage. Doesn't look like they're working on stuff back in here. They must do that more over in the other one, but this is a good point for us to take a look up at this ceiling. All right, so we'll go ahead and continue on around, and we'll just look at the rest of the building. So from here, I'm gonna walk around. That's the B side where we just were. And now here we're back at the BC corner. Obviously here we see a gas meter with the shut off. And then we move over a little bit here. We see the electric and telephone and internet. We do have a large utility pole right up against the building here. So we have wire issues here in the alley on the Charlie side. So that's something we're going to have to consider, limited access back here on the Charlie side. And so we'll go ahead and walk around. Okay, and then here we have the CD corner. You can see there's some storage here. We can see that roof again. And we can walk down along. You can see here that wall that extends all the way up. And again, we have some wires on this side here as well, as far as egress goes. We'll go ahead and walk down the Charlie side. Once these cars pass, right here, okay, that's going to be my A side shot. Now, a couple things to keep in mind here. You have your large trees there, and with the simulations, it's difficult to put those shots in there. And here's even a wider shot I could use. And the problem is with those trees there, if they're in the picture, I can't put the simulation, the fire and smoke behind the trees. We can try to blend things and kind of make do with it, but if I'm going to do a roof fire, I definitely want a big open picture of the roof like this, so that I have more room to work with. If I get it through the trees, or maybe even if I go to this tree over here that you see down the street and I'm shooting the building from an angle, if I have that tree in the way, that's going to block me doing any kind of fire on that building, because that tree is just going to cover everything. So again, we'll move around here, and now we'll get a good picture of the AB corner. I'll probably do something like this. That would be my AB corner shot. And now we're going to come around. We're going to try to get the B side as much as we can straight on. And it just really depends on what type of camera you're using. Remember, always use landscape as your mode. You'll get a wider angle, high definition camera shot. And so right about there, I can maybe back up a little bit. And I think that's pretty good. That's going to give me most of the building. And again, when you're doing this, say I tilt the camera up, I don't need a bunch of this parking lot. That's messing up my image. But if I go ahead and come up here, from right here, now I have a lot of headroom above the building to put in smoke and fire. So keep that in mind, but we'll go ahead and snap this picture. Okay, and that's actually going to give me a pretty good view of the entire B side of the building. But what I'll do here is maybe come down and I'll get an overlap. And so this one's not going to get the whole building, but it's going to get further down. So I would take that image about right there. And then we're going to walk down again, and I'll go ahead and try to get the last part. Now here, you'll see those crates would cover what I could see from the end of the building. So I'm just going to get my shot for the end, something like this. I'll move in, and I'll go ahead and get a shot here. And that would be a good image. Now, I particularly shoot my videos like this in 4K, so it's a really large image, so that's fine. I could actually take an image like this, and I could still zoom in all the way to that garage door and not get any pixelation. So you just have to kind of learn what your images do when you take the pictures, and you'll kind of learn how that all functions. One other thing I didn't talk about before is looking up on top. We have that vent there, and we have a chimney, it looks like, here. So those are all good things to get some images of as well. And maybe I want to come in here and I want to get an image just right into this garage door in case I were to do something where we zoom in. So I'd shoot this image. Okay, then I could go ahead and walk in the building. Maybe I want to get something in here where we're actually walking inside and putting a victim somewhere in the back. So we could walk in here, maybe shoot an image right here, and this one we could pan down because we're going to get a victim laying on the ground, maybe using a thermal imaging camera. And so we'll have that. All right, and then we'll walk over to this door. Maybe I'll get another shot right here of how we could go into this room. Now we walk in. So another thing I look at on these is sometimes getting shots like this with the door closed. And then open the door and then get another shot with it open if we can. So it could be something like this with the door open. I just have it propped open, but that's going to give me more flexibility with the type of smoke I can have moving in and out of the two buildings, of the two sections. So you can see here in the showroom they got a drop ceiling for this first part. There's actually a mezzanine that's up above here. And you can see the showroom. There's the windows to the mezzanine. It just goes across. And here we have another door to go into the area where we just were. And again, this door has a window, so we could do some cool stuff with that. We'll back up here and I'll get a shot of that. I could definitely do something with smoke coming through there or with access there. And you can see here just a sort of break room area that they're using and a little bit of a parts area. And that just walks all the way through. So here was the window, and this was that first door that we saw when we were outside. You can see that there. So hopefully that's helping you get a pretty good layout of what the building looks like. And actually, for what they do here, they do a great job of keeping it very clean. All the walkways open, everything labeled really well. Then the only other thing they have up here is office space here, and then a little area here for more office space or when they need to talk with customers. So let's go back outside and we'll look at doing our A side shots again. I'm actually going to do one more with the door open if I can. Not sure if we'll be able to swing it, but I'll try to get one here. Kind of a tricky shot. All right, we might be able to get that. Have that where that door ends up like that. Okay, so we got our A and B side. Now we're going to go ahead and walk all the way around to the Charlie side. Actually, let's see if we can get these D side shots while we're here. So again, I'm just going to have to deal with these trees being here. But, you know, we'll start with this image here. Then we'll move with one down there. And again, in this situation, this exposure is also something we could bring into the simulation. I'm not going to be able to go inside and look around, but I'll certainly take these shots in case I need them for something so that we can access that. So we'll get a couple good shots just all the way down the side of this building. For whatever I may want to do. And again, here we'll just get close-ups. We'll call this like the D side number 2, and then we'll step up and do D side number 3, and so on, all the way through. You know, and I do like to sometimes get some of these trees in the shot because it is kind of cool to have some perspective as well. Like here, I could definitely put some fire up there, even with that. And then we'll look down this wall here. Take that shot. And they do have another building here that could be used for that. And those could be used for exposure shots, like I said. Again, I'll get another close-up shot here of the D side towards the back. This will be my shot from Charlie all the way back out to the street. Then we'll get our corner shot. Okay, and then we're gonna try to back up here. We got a fence right here in the alley, but we'll try to get as much as we can of this. One advantage, the camera that I use, and I'll link everything in the description, but the DJI Pocket 2 actually has a wide angle lens attachment for it, which actually allows me to get a lot of this stuff pretty wide that I normally may not be able to get with just a standard iPhone or Android phone. So that definitely helps. We'll go ahead and walk up here. If we need to pull the meter, we can certainly have a close-up of the meter. Have that as one of our images. And again, I'll get this whole mess up here. Get that as an image. And again, I'm just creating the video and then I'm taking screen grabs of that. And here's that. Okay, so that's going to be most of the utilities. Then here we're going to get our BC corner. And again, I'll try to catch the roof. One of the other things I look at, if I have a fire that's towards the AB corner, I'll still go ahead and try to catch part of that roof in this picture, because if you can get a little bit of smoke and fire sort of drifting into the picture from the right, that would give sort of that feeling like they're walking around the building, not just where they come to the seaside and there's nothing. Because in reality, if they look up, they're not just seeing the back of the building, they're also going to see that fire that's going on up on the AB side or wherever it might be. So try to kind of think about that as you're doing these shots and get as much as you can. All right, so now we're gonna walk on down here. And again, I got some pretty good shots here. Maybe if I wanted to, I could get some shots with these garage doors down, as if it was like during the nighttime, but I'm not gonna mess with that right now. Just get a few different shots here, walking around. All right, that's pretty good there. And I think that pretty much wraps up most of the shots. So we'll go ahead and take all of that content and we'll get started building our simulation. Now, the other thing I would tell you, what I like to do when I come out and do these videos, I record all this and then I like to go back right away and write down any of the things that jump out at me for the simulation. That way, I've mentioned in previous videos of having a simulation note. So I would recommend doing that. Just create a Word document with the information of this building, the construction type, anything that would be helpful for you to know. And just imagine that you're looking at it, 5 years down the road and you want to build a simulation and you can't remember where things were. By having that document, you can list any of that stuff. And I take that kind of a step further. I'll even list what the building, if it's had any fires in it and how those went. And also I'll list things like when have I used it for simulation training and how did that go? Anything I want to try to do in the future. It's almost like just a mental notebook or a physical notebook actually, of your notes as an instructor and what you might want to use that for in the future. So I also like to try to get shots that have the arrival to the building. So I'm going to kind of move as far away. Sometimes I drive and get 2 or 3 shots leading up to the building if I want to show a lot of smoke and fire. But I start with just going to the initial intersections and kind of getting shots like that. So let's go ahead and do some of those. So I'll flip the camera around here, and you'll see here we can get a long shot of the area of the building if I was coming in from this side. And I'll actually come on out into the road and get that, and then I'm going to cut that picture in, and then we'll walk up and we'll get a couple from the other side. I'll also look around for hydrants. You can see I got a hydrant there across the street, so I'll make a note of that. I also have another hydrant right down there by that corner bar. You can see it kind of in the intersection right at the corner. And so those would obviously have been my two main hydrants that I would use. Unfortunately, they're on the opposite side of the street, but you know, that's what we have to deal with. All right, so I got some traffic coming by, but I'm going to try to get an image just of that area in front of the building, what it would look like if I was driving from this distance. And this would be if the fire department was pulling out of the engine house and they look down the road there, they actually see, you know, if it's a big enough fire. So we do want to always try to get that shot as well. All right, so that's going to conclude our walk around video of this small engine repair, Woodcrest small engine. And we'll go ahead and jump into building the simulation and actually creating the simulation of the structure. Thanks for watching.